All right, today is December 27th, 2018, and right now it's 7:30 p.m. We have a temperature of 44 degrees in the foothills of Los Angeles. The relative humidity is 52%. The dew point is 28 degrees, and the barometer is up slightly at 29.86. Now, yesterday we had a barometric pressure of 29.79, and that was because of the proximity of this upper level low moving down sort of diagonally through Nevada and down towards the Four Corners states where it is now. Yesterday, the day after Christmas, December 26th, we had very, very heavy chemtrail aerosol spraying in the Southern California area. Uh, Today, we see the tool of choice being used to prevent the rain is this high pressure being installed right on top of the jet stream, right down, which is running right down through Washington, Oregon, California. Let's go ahead and look at that jet stream map right now. We can see the pattern running right down the west coast. We should have had rain yesterday. We did get a slight amount of rain on the 24th, Christmas Eve, and into early Christmas morning, about 12:30 a.m. in the morning on Christmas Day. We did receive 4/100ths of an inch of rain. It was very strange how that all occurred. It started to rain fairly heavily at about 12:30 p.m., or rather a.m. in the morning of Christmas morning, 12:30 a.m., and the spigot was immediately shut off after about 30 seconds. So we had, and this repeated about 5 different times. So we did get about 4/100ths of an inch as a result of that manipulation going on. Now, the way that's being done is that the upper atmosphere is being pulsed with microwave energy, and that did stop the lift in the atmosphere, and that immediately stopped the rain precipitation process. Today we can see what's happening. We've got a disruption in the jet stream right here. We've got jet stream flow here, and suddenly we've got this huge disruption right on top of the jet stream. Then it restarts right here and moves right towards Canada, and then swings down through through Washington, Oregon, and California. We've got an upper level low right here. This should have brought rain the last 3 days. And today we've had wind, sporadic winds, because of high pressure right here being installed adjacent to this low. So we can see that counterclockwise rotating low pressure system right here, and we can see the high pressure being installed right over California. We can see the color key right down here at the bottom. We see the moisture turning into this sort of a turquoise blue area and a deeper blue as the descending air takes over and prevents it evaporates the moisture on the jet stream, which should be flowing right down through the state. If we look at this here in the western U.S. water vapor map, we can see what's happening. So we've got a transmitter, satellite transmitter right here, installing high pressure right on top of the jet stream, and that is affecting our weather. And nobody on TV is mentioning any of this. These people won't show us the maps, any of the satellite maps. That's all off limits. So the fake news media is the enemy of the people. They continue to hide and suppress this information. Right here we see the southwest water vapor loop. We can see that upper level low. There's actually some manipulation occurring. We see a straight edge right there. But look at the high pressure being installed right over central and southern California. We've got moisture in the air right here, and suddenly it just dissipates and fizzles out. We did see some chemtrail aerosols being sprayed in the skies today. We saw a lot of cumulonimbus development to the south of Los Angeles. Up here, here's where we are. We were looking to the east and to the south. Mainly off to the east, we could see a lot of cumulonimbus development. And of course, none of that is materializing into any precipitation. If you look at the Doppler map right here and zoom out a little bit, we can see that the central and southern California area is receiving zero rain. We see a smattering of rain down here in the eastern California desert, but that's just some remnants. They basically shut the spigot off. So as we pan around, we can see that as this upper level low approaches the Four Corner region right here, there is very little precipitation. Most of that's occurring right down here in the Tucson area. We've got snow in Flagstaff. If we zoom in on Phoenix, or rather Tucson, we can see a WSR 88D chopping up the precipitation pattern. This WSR 88D next route is located right near the 10 freeway, just to the south east of Tucson, Arizona. Right about here, you can triangulate these pie-shaped cutouts right to the point of that transmitter. That's a ground-based microwave transmitter, which masquerades as a severe weather detection radar, but it has a secondary function, and that is to regulate the amount of snow and precipitation in a given region. And of course, this allows for the weather markets on Wall Street and the betting of weather on Wall Street to proliferate. When you have insiders that know and that can control the amount of precipitation and snow in a given area, and you're selling you're selling bets, and people are betting on the weather, you're running a rigged game, and this is what's happening. This has to stop, and this is affecting our weather. This goes out without saying, but I'm incensed by it. I'm furious about this because we've done a lot of work here on this channel, and yet the day after Christmas, we see the skies are just loaded with this chemtrail haze. Now look at we're looking at here at the East Coast. We see a lot of rain moving through the area, frontal system moving through the area. Let's take a look at the Doppler once again. We'll zoom out and pan over real quick if we can get this map to work. Map's not working. The Midwest and the South and the Northeast are getting plenty of precipitation and snow, mainly the Midwest and the South. Okay, so we have a lot of rain falling out on the East Coast, but nothing on the West Coast, despite the fact that the jet stream is diving right down through the area. All right, let's take a look at the SSEC water vapor map for the West Coast, and we can see on this 24-hour loop what exactly happened here. We saw this low approach. This came right over us yesterday, and it moved right down through the area. And that's why the barometer was down yesterday at 29.79. Today it's up, as I said, at 29.86 because of the high pressure being installed right on top of this jet stream flow. We had opportunity for rain yesterday. It should have rained all day yesterday and also on Christmas Day. By the way, I hope everybody had a great Christmas holiday. But once again, we see this jet stream flow. This is an atmospheric river of water diving right down. And what do we see? We see high pressure being installed right on top of this jet stream flow. Look at this. That is as unnatural as a $3 bill. So why is it that the people on TV reporting the weather here in Los Angeles and everywhere else don't report this? They're being told not to. We have about 7 corporations that control all the media in our country, and they've been instructed to shut up and not say a word about this. And so this is why we're not seeing the satellite maps on TV, on television. We don't see the pressure maps. We don't see the infrared map. We don't see the water vapor map. We don't see the pressure maps. We see a cartoon version of everything. This is a sickening joke. And look what's happening. We've got politicians that can barely find their shoes and tie their shoes, and they are maintaining that carbon dioxide is a problem here. That is not true. This is not carbon dioxide causing this huge hole in the jet stream. Okay, that has nothing to do with carbon dioxide or smokestack emissions of any sort. People are making up stories. This is a complete fabrication. What we're hearing on the mainstream media about climate change, it's a complete fabrication. And the people peddling that story should be put in jail, along with the people that have attempted to frame and depose this sitting president. And by the way, the crap's going to hit the fan here pretty soon. So stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of people indicted and going to prison for what happened. That's not going to make Democrats happy, but that's just too bad. I'm a libertarian, and let's take a look here at the maps now. The pressure maps. Same people that are peddling the global warming / climate change theory and the carbon taxes are the same people that don't want us to see these maps and these pressure maps, and they're controlling what we're seeing on television. They're controlling the fact that we don't have satellite maps on TV. The left controls the media. I shouldn't have to repeat that. That's obvious. The left, the Democratic Party, and the media are joined at the hip and the shoulder. And politics. When we talk about weather, we can't not mention politics because it's integrated. And so, if you're ignoring politics while you're attempting to sell the public information on the weather, particularly the solar radiation management baloney, with nothing to back that up, then the work is invalid. You have to be able to prove and lay out some evidence to prove what you're saying. Okay, here we have the sea level pressure map. We have high pressure installed right here. It's depicted, but actually it's right over this area. Look at all these jaggy isobars. We have a right angle here. Isobars should never be jaggy. They should always be very smooth flowing lines. This is where the manipulation is occurring, adjacent to this mid and upper level low. And so these jaggies reflect the turbulence, the high and low pressure being mixed together by these satellite transmitters. Looking at the 500 millibar, we see jaggies adjacent to this. We've got a closed low here depicted. Actually, it's all over this area. Four corner states. Looking at the 300 millibar, we see the closed low right here, which is moved diagonally down through the area. And so everybody in this area should be having a lot of rain from this vortex. The low pressure in this should be dumping rain. We've got jet stream flow. It's just astonishing that we're not getting any precipitation. But we have people controlling our weather. And that's what's happening. Take a look at the playlist. Listen to what President Lyndon Baines Johnson said in 1964, I think it was, about the development of a satellite transmitter, a weather satellite to determine the world's cloud layer, to control the weather. He explains. So watch that, and I'm also going to put a link to an early 1980s KABC weather broadcast that shows Dr. George Fishbeck showing the satellite weather. And back in the old days, back in the 70s and the 80s, we saw satellite weather. Meteorologists would show us the satellite weather, the satellites, the infrared map, and the water vapor map. We don't see any of that anymore. There's a reason for that. We've tried to lay out a pretty good case here on this channel. But here it is, folks. We've got jet stream flow. We should have had rain, a lot of rain starting on Christmas Eve and continuing on. We've got jet stream flow right through here. We got a upper level low right there, and yet there is zero precipitation. There it is. We'll just leave it right here. Try to get another update here real soon. Okay, that's it.